Thanks for joining us today for this interview.
Thank you, Celeste, and hello to all the students at Griffith.
Great. So we have you here today just to gain some real-world experience from a social entrepreneur who is doing business in this changing world.
Yes.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and we'll make this quite conversational, and so we can learn more.
Absolutely.
So I guess at the forefront, a little bit about yourself and your social enterprise, KOTO.
Sure. As Celeste mentioned, my name is Jimmy Pham. I was born during a very tough time in Vietnam, called the Vietnam War. And we left like a lot of immigrants and we settled in Australia. So I grew up in Australia, so I'm Aussie. But I had a calling about 25 years ago, 1996, when I went back to Vietnam, and I met a couple of street kids, a walk that I call it, the walk that changed my life. And we built conversations. I took them out to have dinner and then buy them toothbrushes and toothpaste and all that, and struck up a conversation and found my purpose is to be able to be that change that I want to see in the world. And Vietnam in those days, put into context, was considered a third world country, was very impoverished. A lot of, there's about 85% of the population was living from hand to mouth, and children, which is 70% of the population, was under the age of 20.
Wow.
At that time. So there was a lot of poverty and a lot of kids who was in that situation. So I decided I wanted to come back and be that change. But like a lot of people, I don't have a lot of experience, so I've learned through trial and error and through and kind of grow with the project. So I came to Vietnam wanting to make a difference. I started out living perfectly the old Chinese proverb of give a man a fish today. So I gave them fish. So everywhere I see street kids, I would give them food, I would give them money, put them through English classes and all that. And after 3.5 years, through their voices, they said that what I was doing wasn't helping them at all. So the idea of moving to the next stage of our development, which is to give them a fishing rod so they can fish and for themselves, and that began the founding of KOTO. And it's an acronym for No One Teach One. And the base of all its mission is to empower and train disadvantaged and at-risk youth into hospitality and give them a life of purpose and dignity.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you mentioned that it was these young people that told you that this wasn't helping me.
That's
so
right.
What's your point of view about gaining perspectives from other people when you're developing your own business in this challenging world?
Exactly. I think I look back in 23 years of operations at KOTO. I think that you never assume anything. You think the best way to do is to be at the forefront and actually listen more than you talk, especially when you're a startup stage or you're beginning. So by listening to these kids and what they want, I was able to develop the beginning of KOTO. And they needed hospitality training, which gave them a skill. But we also added life skills because they didn't have any. They don't have basic things like communication skills. They don't even have anything like how to form a healthy relationship between the opposite sex, etc. So all this kind of sort of things that they say they want, that we incorporate into the program that makes it work so well today.
Yeah, wow. And you've mentioned some of the challenges, but what were some of the key challenges in developing a social enterprise?
Oh my goodness.
Where do you
There's so many. So when I started, KOTO at a time where social enterprise was a dirty word.
Yeah.
You're in Vietnam, you're either an NGO or you're a business. There's no such thing as using business for purpose. So at that time we worked so much in changing people's perception and perspective, and engage people, raise awareness and understand. So that would probably be the biggest challenge. The second challenge is that as Vietnam was evolving, there's a lot of changes within the social economic space in Vietnam. So therefore, we learn and grow as well. As it becomes more policy-driven, regulated, and all that kind of stuff, we also have to face that challenges as well. And finally, it's always about the finance. When when a typical family, they have 2 kids and 3 kids, they say you cost the world, the earth. For us, it's like, at any one point before COVID, we had like 300 kids was under our care, and we look after them for 2-year period, live in, so 3 meals a day, accommodations, everything like that. So they cost astronomical to look after them. But it's a space that really needed because that's how you engage change. And because the environment, the peer-to-peer, the curriculum, all that, the culture helps them to change their behavior and their mindset and get them job ready at the end of that 2 years.
Yeah, wow. So you've told us about all these initiatives that you've undertaken. Has this just been a final solution, or has there been a journey along the way, Jimmy?
Oh my goodness, I can tell you, Celeste, we there's a journey, is a learning journey as well. I would never in my wildest expecting to run a huge organization like KOTO as it is. Had I assumed that I would be doing this, I think I would have not taken it, because I think that we started KOTO by listening to what the kids want, and we added, had we just to assume that this is what's good for them, it's just vocational training, we would never have got the life skills and got the 100% job placement success, got the brand that we have today. Is because along the way, it's always good to check in to the stakeholders, and be customer centric. It means that everyone that works with you are involved in building this amazing social enterprise.
Yeah, wow. So what are some of the key outcomes that have been created from people engaging in KOTO?
I think one of the biggest, probably the most proudest for us, is we became the first social enterprise. And now there's over 50,000 social enterprises working in Vietnam and in this space, in environmental, and technology, and community education, et cetera, et cetera. Number 2, I would say, is that 100% job placement success. So we've taken kids from the street to become chefs at 5-star hotels and restaurants, and place them to some of the biggest brand in Vietnam and around the world as well. The key achievement is that we successfully built a brand that employers can be assured, can trust, that they'll have hospitality professionals that have good attitude and knowledgeable and a decent amount of English proficiency. And the last one is actually building a network of ethnic minorities, that because the ethnic minority don't trust the mainstream community of Vietnamese. So for them to come to the city for 2 years and work with us, that takes a lot of credibility. And we built that over the years, and now 30% of our makeup are actually from the hill tribes.
Yeah, wow. Just one last question. So what advice would you give our future entrepreneurs or our future leaders in our class about doing business in this challenging world?
Sure.
What's your advice?
I think you have to realize that sometimes when we're cooped up in this space, we think that we're the only one and all that. You're not. The world's getting smaller and smaller. We're connected in every way possible, and it doesn't take very much to connect back and to understand what's going on around the world. So if you're doing things, then you're a part of the solution, and always apply business principle. People want you to make your million and live your dream and do all the things, but also to be very aware that you're part of this global citizenship and that you have the responsibility to give back. So do your business, but apply a social mission to that. And that would be my advice. If you're starting something and you're changing the world and you want to change the world, is to be resilient because it's super important. When you become a disruptor or someone who's a game changer, it's not going to be easy. It's never easy, and people is going to put you down. You're going to meet so many obstacles and challenges, but that's what will make you stronger, and that's what will make you resilient, and that's what going to make you a leader, a true leader, and that's the way to becoming what to live your dream, to have a holistic approach.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Jimmy. It's been wonderful talking to you, and this is really inspirational.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.